Alright, g'day everybody. This is a relatively live update, so it's not where we are currently in the video series. That's why it's a little extra update. We're currently in Costa Rica, but we wanted to get this out to you for a little bit of an update about our most asked question recently, which is...
what's up with the other boat in Hawaii? The answer is it's currently listed for sale in Honolulu.
You can see the link right here on the screen, but we'll put the link in the description and you can find it if you haven't already.
If you're curious about why the boat is in Honolulu and we're back here on Varuna, check out our old video. The link's down in the description below and you can get all the info on that.
We have to make amends for the mistakes we made. We loved that boat. There was a situation that we explained in the other videos about why this didn't work for us at the time. Now that being said, we need to make arrangements to go forward here. We thought in the meantime, while the season wasn't right to sail it to the US mainland, we would leave it there and list it for sale. We haven't had any luck with the sale there right now. We haven't had any luck with the broker either. So what we're going to do is go back to Hawaii.
We're planning on heading back to Hawaii in March. We need to do a few things to the boat and get it ready to make the crossing back to the mainland.
So our current plan is to head over there in March and spend a month or so getting it seaworthy to where we're comfortable with returning it like we weren't before. And then April, which is when the window kind of opens to start bringing boats across on that passage, we'll be sailing it back to, I don't know, somewhere. Yeah, we haven't decided. Seattle, San Diego, maybe Mexico.
Options are open. Somewhere on the west coast of the US.
Anywhere is better than Hawaii. I don't think boats sell that well in Hawaii. Boats don't sell that great anywhere. But Hawaii is a very small market, obviously.
So what do we need to do before we bring it back?
We've got a few things we really want to do. I think there's 3 top priorities that we definitely want to do. One is going to be, as you know from before, we need an autopilot. There is no autopilot.
Yep, autopilot, some way to help us steer the boat so it's not always someone at the helm, constantly on a long passage.
Number 2.
Number 2 is we need new batteries.
Yeah, we're going to put some newer batteries on. The ones that are on there, there's a huge bank on there which is way oversized for the solar that's on there. There is no other means of charging on board this boat. There is no shore power connection. It's all by a solar. The solar as well, way undersized for the battery bank and their lead acid batteries. So we need to replace those. They're older and they have not been looked after well.
The last thing is...
Number 3.
Number 3.
We want a life raft. We don't have a life raft on board Varuna and we've been thinking about it. We'd like to add that before we start our long passages south to, say, Easter Island and Chile, which is where we're going if you haven't noticed or haven't heard us say before. But we'd like that for the Hawaii passage as well. It's a boat we're not as familiar with. We haven't spent 2.5, 3 years on it now like we have on Varuna.
And it's a long way to go, a long way from land.
Into the North Pacific. So we would really like a life raft for that. Challenges with these are the autopilot's expensive. Other than that, it's not that difficult. We hope to get working on the boat. The batteries, again, expensive, not that much difficult. Maybe rewiring and moving where the batteries are now because they have a very high center of gravity where they're currently located. And 3, the life raft, probably the most problematic. We'd love to buy a second-hand life raft. Of course, it hasn't been used. A lot of times people will buy them and then sell them off at some point. Getting a used life raft to Hawaii is pretty much impossible because you have to go through all sorts of hazardous materials shipping, which is very difficult for an individual.
Costs basically as much as buying a new life raft, pretty close.
Otherwise, you have to look at buying a new one, which I'm guessing we could probably do from a West Marine store there.
I think so, yeah.
All right, so what do we like about this boat?
It's a super comfortable boat. Inside, living quarters, amazing. Huge aft cabin, king-size bed, really nice galley, just all over really nice living quarters.
So for the little we've sailed it so far, extremely comfortable underway. It sails very well. The sails balance extraordinarily well. It does have the Hank-On Genoa, the Hank-On staysail with a multitude of sails. We've got 5 different sails, and then there's the mainsail as well. It handles extremely well. Center cockpit.
Yeah, we were very impressed with how it handles. It has a nice center cockpit, hard Dodger bimini, which would be awesome
and
for a lot of weather.
And a great rebuilt motor on there too, right? The top head's been rebuilt. It's like is it an 80 horsepower turbo diesel?
88, I think.
88 turbo diesel on the motor. And that's a great thing to have on there. Like we said, no electronics really on this boat. So there's no autopilot currently on there.
Huge tankage.
Huge
has
tankage.
250 gallons of diesel and 250 gallons of water, which is incredible.
The deck fills have been disconnected from the tank, so you can't get contamination of salt water from above. So So you fill those from below. They could be reconnected if you wanted. It is a really sound boat. So for the money, it's great value for the money. It's probably half the price of the other Celestial 48s you'll see around the place. Does need cosmetic work. It's structurally sound. The rigging's brand new from like 3 years ago. Everything's great on the boat except there is the cosmetic side of it. There's no table down below.
Some of the wood paneling around the port lights, the windows needs to be replaced. Just a little prettying up, varnish, all that good stuff.
Up in the forepeak, that has been converted more into storage right now. It'd be pretty easy to convert that back into a V-berth or bunks if you want it that way. But there is bunks in the settee with a pilot berth, both settees, starboard and port on that as well. Galley sink. All that sort of jazz that you would need. I mean, this boat just came back from cruising the South Pacific for a couple of years, so it is a very sound boat. We love the boat. Our biggest problem, as we've said before, was that we bought it. We were stupid buying the boat in Hawaii. For us, it didn't work for us. We didn't want to be in Hawaii. We couldn't afford to be in Hawaii, and it was the wrong time to sail it back to the mainland or Mexico, which we'd planned.
Yep.
We screwed up.
Made a mistake. It happens.
Our mistake could be your gain. Maybe you want to come and sail with us in April.
Or maybe you want to buy a boat.
You never know. We've got 2 boats. That was our biggest mistake overall. We probably should never have had 2 boats at once. A lot of people probably told us that. But we should have sold 1 boat and then gone and looked for another one. Things don't always work out the way that you think they're going to. But we're going to remedy that. We're going to get back here on Varuna is most likely scenario and keep sailing. There is a chance we'll stay on the Celestial. You never know just
Never
yet.
know. If you'd like to know more about the Celestial 48 in Hawaii, it's listed with a broker. You can find it on Yacht World, and you can also send us any questions you may have.
We're happy to answer any questions. Either way, the broker gets a percentage of the sale, but we know the boat. We're happy to talk to you. We'll be honest about it. We know the problems with the boat, and we don't want to scam someone out. It's a great deal for the boat, but it depends on if you want a boat that you can work on. It's a 48-foot boat, though. It's a great price per foot. For the boat, if you want to spend a year or so just getting it ship shape, mate, you'll have a bloody great boat.
All right, that's it for our little update. Hopefully this answered some of your questions, and if you have more, like I said, we're happy to answer them. Cheers, guys.
See you next time.